Welcome to the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge, broadcasting across Northeast Kingdom in the North Country of New Hampshire. I'm your host, Joshua Smith, and we've got another packed episode for you. Tonight's show is a special one. Gary Moore is back with his thoughts on the out of doors, and this week he sits down with Kelly Ault, the Executive Director of the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance. They'll talk about how Vermont's outdoor economy is growing and what challenges small outdoor businesses are facing, and how you, yes, you, can support them this season. Plus, we've got the latest snowmobile trail reports from both sides of the river, and of course, our outdoor edge forecast. And there's a lot to dig into, so we're just gonna jump right into it, folks. Here we go.
Good evening. Welcome to Thoughts on the Out of Doors. My guest tonight is Kelly Ault, the Executive Director of the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance. Kelly, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Would you tell our listeners a little bit about the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance?
Sure, I'd be happy to. The Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance is a statewide nonprofit organization. It was established in 2017 by a group of outdoor businesses who wanted to strengthen Vermont's outdoor economy. We were established as a statewide organization with a mission to strengthen outdoor recreation, to support educating Vermonters about outdoor recreation opportunities, and to help businesses collaborate and advocate for investments through outdoor recreation policy.
Great. I learned about VOBA a few years ago and started going to some of your programs and so forth, and using the basis of what I learned for my newspaper columns. I think it's important to point out just who's involved or what entities are involved. A lot of people would think when we're talking about the businesses, we're talking the ski areas and the mountain biking areas and so forth, but it's not just that. It's companies like Darn Stuff Socks and Gear Exchange and so forth. We'll go into a little bit about who's involved in the VOBA.
Sure. Well, the outdoor recreation to Vermont has a long and storied history. We have a traditional history in using the outdoors for health and wellness, for economic activity. And so over the decades, the outdoor industry has grown into a web of different types of organizations and companies that serve both Vermonters and visitors in getting outside. It does include, as you mentioned, some of the more classic outdoor businesses like resorts, outdoor centers, our retailers that sell outdoor gear, apparel, and accessories. But it also points to our guide services, our outdoor educators that tell our stories and bring people into the outdoors in a safe way to build skills and appreciation for our natural world. It also includes the marketing and media agencies that tell our stories and encourage accessibility and participation. Our outdoor organizations are our recreation managers. They maintain assets. They could be bringing people to the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail, to the Kingdom Trails Network, and supporting the experience in the outdoors. So it's a wide-ranging, highly diversified sector. It supports $2.1 billion in contributions to our state GDP. And so it's a significant industry.
That's a pretty big number.
It is, and it's been growing. We've been tracking that number through the Bureau of Economic Analysis since 2017, and we know every year the industry continues to be a force in Vermont, not just to the state, but to our local communities that are establishing themselves and emerging as growing outdoor destinations.
Right. Now, there's no question that outdoor recreation is big in Vermont. You mentioned the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail, which is obviously not terribly far from here. The communities that reside along the side of that are seeing benefits from it. Within, 200-300 yards from here is the rail trail that goes from Wells River on over to Montpelier. That gets a lot of use.
Absolutely. The Green Mountain, the Long Trail managed by the Green Mountain Club,
right,
is the oldest footpath in the United States. It has a long history of bringing hiking and through hikers to Vermont. Sure, we have our resorts and all of the ski communities that benefit from, our mountains as destinations. And so there are a lot of recreation assets that are both iconic and are small. A lot of our parks and our greenways and our nature areas are there for locals to get outdoors for bird watching or walking. It doesn't have to be an extreme mountaintop or a raging river that brings people to Vermont into our outdoors.
Well, I mean, we're here in Wells River. We're very close to Garden State Forest, which is a very large tract of land with many types of recreation and campgrounds and so forth. But also we're very close to about 3 or 4 fish and wildlife management areas also would get a lot of use. And in the spring here, if you go across the road, you'll see the kayakers go in the white water right here on the Wells River. There's a lot in Vermont, wherever you are. You mentioned the Appalachian Trail, you mentioned the Long Trail, and of course, the southern part of it coincides with the Appalachian Trail, which then crosses over through Norwich into New Hampshire. But my understanding is you worked for the AMC at one time before you took this job?
Yes, I did. Over 30 years ago, I did move to Vermont after getting a graduate degree in environmental policy, and went to work for the Northern Forest Alliance, which was at the time a project of the Appalachian Mountain Club. It was based in Montpelier, and it was focused on the 4-state Northern Forest region and really supporting our conservation of land resources, sustainable forestry, and supporting sustainable economies based on the resource. And so I came to work for a decade at AMC via the Northern Forest Alliance as a community organizer, working with businesses across the 4 states in their communities to support their local economies and supporting commercial activity that was harmonious with the landscape and that really supported the residents and the employees within the region.
Yeah, the Northern Forest Alliance did a lot of good for northern New England. Yeah, I worked with them some when I was the director of the Sustainable Forestry Initiative in Vermont, and it was a very good organization. It is. It's kind of a natural for you then to go to VOBA, promoting the sort of things that Northern Forest felt strongly about, but basically here in Vermont.
Absolutely. My work with VOBA, the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance, is full circle. In 2017, Governor Stott established the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative as part of his administration. It was a program that continues to be housed in both Department of Forest, Parks and Recreation and the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. Public forums around establishing VORAC were an opportunity for the industry to come together and identify the need for an independent private sector-led organization to support economic development around outdoor recreation and to work alongside VORAC. And so in 2018, VOBA was founded, and I became its first executive director to support the goals of the organization. We continue to have 5 functions. Primarily, we support the industry coming together to network and learn. Secondly, we support business development and technical assistance. Third, workforce development and supporting career pathways to retain and attract a workforce. Research and branding is another function of VOBA, and then to be advocates to support investments in our natural resource and in our sector. And so since 2018, we've been a robust network working to bring together our 155 members around these activities and supporting a vision for the outdoor economy within our state.
And your staff has grown. What, 5 of you now?
Well, I continue to be the only staff member,
full-time?
but we do have a team of program consultants that do our work around our career development, our membership program, our event series, our government relations and media activity in the State House, and also our graphic design and web design work.
Okay, so they're not employees per se. They have specific tasks.
Yes, they are a team that are focused on really bringing expertise and bringing systems thinking and fresh perspective to VOBA's programming to support the industry in its continued mission and goals.
Great. With that, I think we'll pause for a minute.
It's the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
At R&L Archery, we know it's not just about the thrill of the hunt or the size of the fish. It's about the moments that matter most, the traditions passed down from one generation to the next, and the stories told by the fire long after the sun is set. It's about the journey, the memories, and the time spent together with friends and family, because these are the moments that truly last a lifetime. R&L Archery, where every adventure begins. Come create your story.
It's a St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
Winter in Vermont is a great time to get outside and explore. It offers experiences for a wide range of abilities and interests. The Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department provides opportunities to take advantage of what the season offers. Visit vtfishandwildlife.com to plan your next winter adventure. You can sign up for a free ice fishing clinic, watch how-to videos, or find a wildlife management area near you for a quiet snowshoe stroll. Vermont Fish and Wildlife is here to help you get outside and experience the outdoors this winter.
So where's the big deal?
Holy schmoly, it's Matt LeKire from the Auto Saver Group, St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the Start Something New sales event, and if you've been waiting for the perfect time to get into a brand new truck, your wait is officially over. Right now, you can lease a brand new 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab for just $479 per month for 39 months with zero money down. That's right, no money down, and you're driving one of the toughest, most capable, full-size trucks on the road. With legendary Ram power, premium comfort, and head-turning Bighorn style, this truck is built to handle Vermont and New Hampshire's toughest roads and look good doing it. But don't wait, these Ram 1500 Bighorns are moving fast during the Start Something New sales event. Come see us today on Memorial Drive in St. Johnsbury, Vermont, just past the railroad tracks, or check us out online at stjohnsburycdjr.com.
Stock number SJR 26078. 10,000 miles per year, 32,500 total miles. 30 cents per mile over. Tax, title, fees, and registration extra. Must have a Stellantis brand lease and household to qualify. First payment due at signing.
St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Vermont drives Ram tough.
Welcome back to Thoughts on Out of Doors, and again with me is Kelly Ault, the Executive Director of the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance. I mentioned earlier that I had attended some of the events they put on and learned a lot, and used as a basis of some of my newspaper columns. I think the first event I attended was down at the Grafton Inn 3 years ago. Tell me a little more about that. What was the plan?
Yes, that was a wonderful gathering at the Grafton Inn in the summer of 2024. We had partnered with the Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative, VORAC, on a series of forums with the outdoor industry to help identify a statewide vision and a set of priority actions for the state for outdoor recreation over the next 5 to 10 years. The initiative, called Move Forward Together Vermont, is designed to provide a framework for the state and for private sector organizations and businesses to support investing in the outdoor economy and growing opportunities for businesses and our communities. That event was a retreat that brought together our membership of 155 businesses and organizations, from manufacturers to retailers to guide services to media marketing, educators, and many more, as well as was led by our board of directors, which represents many of those types of companies in our state, to help VOBA come up with a 5-year work plan for how can we develop programs and activities to support our sector. And with that came a 4-pronged plan. We are currently in our second year of implementing areas around supporting climate resiliency within our sector to support our businesses in being prepared for climate events and being able to be stable and have agility in uncertain times. We are supporting innovation and sustainability. We have so many small businesses, entrepreneurs that are developing products, growing businesses based here in Vermont, and we want to support their growth, their collaboration. And we are also supporting career pathways, and this builds upon work that we've been doing over the years, largely due to support from the Vermont Department of Tourism and Marketing to provide technical training to our industry in the areas of trail building, bicycle mechanics, and ski technicians, so we can really help with the skilled workforce around the demands of our industry. So that event in Grafton was a real pivotal point to bring the industry together around these 4 goals and really how can we be supporting the sector moving forward. We have since then continued our annual summits, our outdoor economy summits. We had the 7th event just this past November in Burke at the Burke Mountain Hotel. It was a wonderful gathering of the state, but also a way to celebrate the region and it being such a world-class destination and such a model for collaboration between businesses, between municipalities and the private sector to really support the use of our outdoors for health, wellness benefits, as well as supporting local economies. That event has led. Those events have are also served as touch points for our sector to get together on the Move Forward Together Vermont agenda. And in 2026, we're excited about a partnership where we are working on with the Climate Action Office and the Department of Labor, which also involves VORAC and the Office of Workforce Development and Strategy to support our businesses that are investing in their climate adaptations and mitigation measures. They want to be climate ready. They want to support their workforce in having the skills and professional development so that they can respond to climate events. And they can also be proactive in having a business model that has agility, that is advancing sustainability as values-led businesses, and supporting our state, not only in their climate goals, but also the industry in having a value proposition and having a business which is compatible with our natural resources and landscape.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's important that you do the training for those that are going to tune the skis, for instance, or those that are going to fix the mountain bikes or the road bikes. Those are skills that are very important if you're going to run a small business. Likewise, the events that I've participated in or witnessed, it's been a great chance, from what I could see, for some of these small beginning entrepreneurs to interact with others. You know, if you're a small operation, you may feel like you're out in the desert all alone, and just having these events where they can get together and share experiences and support one another, that's pretty important.
It's true. Even though we're a small state, sometimes it can be very lonely to be a solopreneur or to be a small business in a rural community and just be very busy supporting your customers year-round. And so these gatherings are really important to bring businesses together, to share ideas, to learn best practice, to access resources that they may not otherwise know about. And so in addition to our annual summits, we've been spearheading quarterly networking and education events around the state. And we also want to bring those stories and those needs and opportunities to the legislature. And in February, we will have our 3rd Outdoor Recreation Day at the State House as a way to bring the industry together to talk about some of the challenges they're facing, some of those headwinds, and also some of the opportunities that they see that could benefit from state investment and support from the administration.
Yeah, actually, I went to the last year's event at the State House. You know, sometimes we think lobbying is a nasty name, but you know, getting the correct information to the legislators is important. And your members come from all corners of the state. And, you know, that's a chance for them to meet not only with their legislators, but others and explain what issues they're dealing with, what their needs are, what their problems are.
Absolutely. We're really lucky in Vermont in that we have access to our legislators and those that are making decisions about our public resources. We have a citizen legislature, so a lot of our lawmakers live in our communities, they work in our businesses, they work in our organizations, they know the needs of the community, and they want to have relationships with their neighbors and their constituents. And so going to the State House or building those relationships is welcome, and it's an opportunity to really think through solutions together. And we have some big challenges to the state. Right now, we have housing that we need for our employees. We have climate challenges. We have a number of challenges to the state around land use, and there are some really promising conversations happening, and we want to make sure that outdoor businesses are at the table, sharing their ideas, sharing their stories, and being part of the solutions.
Right. Once again, we'll pause.
After the break, we're headed back to Gary Moore as he continues his conversation with Kelly Ault. What's next for Vermont outdoor businesses, and how can local folks play a part in a growing economy? Stay with us.
It's the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
At R&L Archery, we know it's not just about the thrill of the hunt or the size of the fish. It's about the moments that matter most, the traditions passed down from one generation to the next, and the stories told by the fire long after the sun is set. It's about the journey, the memories, and the time spent together with friends and family, because these are the moments that truly last a lifetime. R&L Archery, where every adventure begins. Come create your story.
In the heart of the winter, while the cold winds howl, dream of a home where you can throw in the towel. A cozy nook by the window, a wall or a hall. Bachelor carpentry can surely do it all. Plan now, don't stall. Spring will soon call. Visit vtcarpenter.com. We'll handle it all.
Welcome back to Thoughts on the Outdoors. With me today is Kelly Ault, the Executive Director of the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance. Kelly, there are a lot of issues that you have to deal with that are affecting all the businesses and all the rest of us who live in Vermont. Let's start with climate.
Yes, climate change is happening in Vermont and is really affecting the outdoor industry. We're an industry that's very intimate with the natural landscape, so when we have flooding events, when we have drought, when we have heat waves, when we have shorter winters, rainy summers, any of the above, we see an impact to businesses. And in some cases, it can be a pausing of business operations. In other cases, it requires a shift in business, a business model or in business services, and being able to navigate and be agile during those times. So we have been working with businesses over the last year and a half on supporting what some of those needs are. What are some of the investments they are making or what they would like to make to support their continuity during a climate event or to take advantage of some of the opportunities to the shifting seasons.
Right.
They may not all be negative, although climate change is negative to our planet. So we have done a couple things in the last 6 months. We have supported a collaboration with the Vermont Businesses for Social Responsibility on a Climate Ready VT workshop to support businesses who are trying to come up with a climate resiliency plan and think through some of the steps, both small and large, that they can take in their business over time to prepare for climate events. We also published a report working with a climate fellow through the UVM Sustainable Innovation MBA program to document some of the case studies, some of the examples that from the outdoor industry of businesses that are investing in some adaptations and how that's working, whether it's helping with their efficiency and energy, whether it's a snowmaking system at a resort, or whether they are a snowmaking, a snow sports retail business that has now expanded to be 4-season because they want to have more offerings and can't rely on a shorter winter. There are a number of small and large steps that companies can take. So we're trying to support that technical assistance in the industry. And we're also advocating for investment in those resources so we can continue to work with municipalities and with our state partners on how to be a more resilient state.
The drought affected all those that are running canoe trips. The rafting on the Deerfield River, for instance, very important. Yet, when we had the torrential rains, look what it did to the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail, for instance, and how that affected, for instance, the operation that rents e-bikes out of Johnson.
Yes, Lamoille Valley Bike Tours. That's
correct.
a good example. Is they really work to advocate for some of the solutions that they saw that the state did end up adopting for future impacts to the rail trail. Instead of full closure, maybe partial closure when there's a rain event, so they can continue operating
Right.
and supporting that activity. So there are ways that the industry can help and work together with the state, with municipalities on on solutions that work
Right.
for everyone and can support
Yeah,
the
that's
industry.
run by a couple of very energetic people. I've ridden with them I've ridden their bikes a couple of times and been impressed with their operation.
Yes. That's a good example of a business that has been proactive.
Well, it looks like they've just about opened up the east end of the trail. They put a lot of work into that section in St. Johnsbury that disappeared, and pretty quick we'll be able to ride from Swanton to St. J.
Well, that'll be a celebration.
Right.
There are a few other headwinds I want to make sure your listeners are aware of, and that connect to the industry, as we have been talking to businesses and working with them over the last year about some of the impacts of the federal policy changes, and two of them in particular affect the outdoor industry. We have so many manufacturers in our state of small and large products, gear, apparel, accessories. Many of them make their products here, which is wonderful, but many of them have very solid supply chains out overseas as well
Right.
as over the border in Canada. And those relationships have been very positive, and they are not in positions to change those supply chains. So the tariffs have been a challenge to the business, and the uncertainty in how those will continue to unfold have caused a lot of challenge to businesses. So they're trying to figure out those solutions on whether they pass costs on to consumers, work out arrangements.
It's hard to plan because the numbers that they're using for tariffs are changed overnight sometimes.
Exactly. And we are awaiting the Supreme Court decision on the tariffs and the use of the IEEPA as a justification that would affect a number of our businesses. And one of our companies, Terry Cycling, was one of the companies involved in that lawsuit. So they have spoken very articulately about the impact on their business and how that has affected them as a Vermont-based company. The other headwind is the Canadian visitation, which we rely heavily on for our tourism markets.
Definitely.
Close to 30% of tourism comes from our Canadian neighbors to the north, and the rhetoric has really compromised that relationship and challenged our visitation market. And so we, as an industry, have worked to work together with state agencies, with our congressional delegation, and with municipalities on how to communicate respectfully and in helpful ways about our Canadian visitors and how much we value their they're enjoying Vermont's resources, and then working across the border with our counterparts to develop solutions and think through ways that we can forge ahead under the circumstances. And so we've definitely seen some progress in that area. We have businesses on Church Street, like Mark Sherman from Outdoor Gear Exchange, saying it seems like business is getting close back to close to normal, and a lot of that has to do with a strong snow season, but also the work that's happened to communicate and support our customer base in supporting Vermont products and coming to Vermont for
And to
enjoy
make
our
the
resources.
Canadians feel welcome again.
Exactly.
Yeah. Any other difficulties you may be facing, your members?
Well, I think that those are the main challenges to the state. We have climate resiliency measures and a need to be agile to tariffs and visitation shortfalls. But we are working to support technical assistance and businesses in mapping out plans and finding new markets, and working together with our agencies like Vermont Department of Tourism and Marketing to support our local businesses. And that is an important message, not just to those out of the state, but in the state, is that our downtowns are only vibrant because they offer a real value to locals and to visitors. our businesses, our ambassadors, they are our neighbors, they're really important resources. And so supporting our local businesses, visiting our local outdoor centers is going to be really important in the years to come in order to shore up that vibrancy.
Unfortunately, too many of us look away somewhere. We think we want to go see that or do that when we have so much in Vermont that we tend to overlook sometimes. It's too close to home. But yeah, we definitely need to support those businesses, those activities. I've seen how things have changed in so many different places. East Burke, for instance, since the ski area got really back on its feet and the Kingdom Trails got going there. I mean, what a difference it made in East Burke. Mm-hmm. And that's true in a lot of communities.
Yes, and that's due to intention and strategic partnerships.
Right.
So we have a community in Vermont that is really close, is relationship-based, and we have the opportunity to do some great and bold things, given our small state size and our brave little state nature. And so I would agree it takes a village, and it's exciting to be a part of an industry that wants to work together, forge solutions, and I would encourage people to get involved in VOBA and go to our website and learn about our resources that we have available and participate in some of our networking and education events in 2026.
Yeah, it's a good website. But you just mentioned people get involved in VOBA. I understand if I have a business that's related, but how about just as an individual? How can they get involved?
Yes, well, we invite individuals, businesses, organizations, entities to be members of VOBA, to participate in some of our open networking events. We do have a newsletter which shares industry news, so being abreast of what's happening in the region and the state is helpful for us all to take action in our daily lives to support outdoor recreation opportunities.
Yeah. Those of us who are users, need to support these entities in order to be able to do the things we love to do. So.
Yes, the Move Forward Together Vermont statistic that 93% of Vermonters get outside to recreate throughout the year is about as promising a data point as we could hope for, in that we really value our time outside and our relationship in the outdoors. We want everyone to have access to it and be successful in the outdoors, and so we're happy to play a role in that vision.
Well, our time is about up, Kelly, so unfortunately we're going to have to wrap this up, but I would encourage all you listeners to go to the VOBA website. You'll learn a lot about it. Go ahead, I'm sorry, cut you off.
Oh, I cut you off. www.vermontoutdoorbusinessalliance.org.
Right, and you'll learn a lot about what's going on in the state and about some of the entities that are providing the recreation you like, but also the companies that are manufacturing some of the things you use. So with that, until 2 weeks from now for the next show, good night and enjoy the rest of the week.
And you were just listening to Gary Moore talking with Kelly Ault, who is the executive director of the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance. And now coming up, trail updates from both Vermont and New Hampshire. Gary Lamberton of the Vermont Buckaroos, and then we're going to talk to Dan Ingerson from the Connecticut Valley Snowmobile Club. Both of them are going to give us the latest conditions for sledders across the region. So whether you're heading out this weekend or just waiting for the next big snowfall, I don't want to miss out these firsthand reports. So coming up right after this break.
It's a St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
So where's the big deal?
Holy schmoly, it's Matt LeCaire from the Autosaver Group, St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Now's the time to get into a brand new Jeep during the Start Something New sales event. Right now at St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, drive a brand new 2026 Jeep Compass Limited, lease it for just $359 per month for 39 months with zero money down. That's right, zero down on a Compass Limited packed with premium features, advanced safety, technology, and legendary Jeep capability built to handle Vermont roads with confidence. You'll find St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram just over the railroad tracks in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. Easy to find and worth the trip. Stop in today or visit us online and take advantage of this exceptional lease on a 2026 Jeep Compass Limited for just $359 per month with 0 down.
Lease for stock number SJJ 26002. 10,000 miles per year, 32,500 total miles. 30 cents per mile over. Tax, title, registration extra. Must have current Stellantis brand lease. First payment due at signing.
St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where Vermont comes to drive.
You've picked the paint colors, maybe even sketched a layout on the back of an envelope, or made the playlist for your grand opening. But without a design, it's just a dream. Riverside Design Works in Bradford makes those dreams real for families and small businesses across the Upper Valley. Affordable, functional, and community-focused, we build for your needs and within your budget. But heads up, the 2026 construction season is booking fast. If you want shovels in the ground next year, you need plans today. Keep it simple. Riverside Design Works. Smart choices, reliable results.
And now we're going to take a break to actually have our trail report. And with us over the phone is Gary Lamperton, who is the trail master for the Buckaroos of 302. Gary, how you doing?
Doing good, Josh.
All right. And I know you were on last time, and we were a little bit nervous that because it was going to have some rain that weekend after we talked, but I think we're good so far right now. I'm looking outside the window.
Yeah, we've got some good snow out there. Got, 12, 14 inches of snow. We got a lot of people out there riding. We do have a few trees that are bent over due to that ice, but it's not stopping us. Trails are 80% open, and a lot of people are out there enjoying them. The groomer has been out almost every day. Jesse Lambert Grooming Farms Grooming, has been doing a wonderful job. And we've had crews out there the last couple weekends cutting trees, getting things better shape, but it's really, really shaping up good.
And remind people, Gary, that you said it was 80% of the trails were open. What trails are still not open yet?
We have a couple loop trails. One is basically the 2014 trail. It's just a bypass trail for the 302. Helps the overflow traffic that comes down from the Butterfield parking lot from the Barrie area down to the railroad bed into the Upper Valley Grill. We built those to help split up the traffic, to help with the flow. It's an area that it needs quite a bit of snow. It's pretty rough territory. Needs quite a bit of snow. So those are not open. One section is open, one section is not. But it takes a while for that one that people like to travel. It just needs a little bit more snow. But our main routes, 302, 232, Route 5, those are all open, and seeing a lot of traffic out there last weekend.
And remind people to the Buckaroos, how many miles of trails do the Buckaroos maintain?
We have 58 miles in the towns of Groton, Peacham, and Cabot.
Wow. And through Cabot, is it all connected now to the Lamoille Rail Trail yet?
No, we don't go. We actually stop at the Highway Route 2 in Cabot.
Okay.
So, but, the trail does continue there, but just not our trail.
Right.
So they're all vast trails, of course. Then you move into what the Cabot Club and what is groomed by the Twinfield Club, and, you also have the Bailey Hazing Club that connects you to the Danville Club.
Wow. Okay. And so remind people too, the Buckaroos, this is a volunteer organization, correct?
Oh yeah. It's all volunteers. I have 50 people every year will come out and help me get these trails ready. We start beginning October through December 15th, and people come out every single weekend and help us maintain the trails, mowing and cutting and building bridges, and it's unbelievable the support we get.
Right.
They come from Connecticut, Massachusetts. They come from the town of Groton, Woodsville, Wells River. They come from all over to help us.
Right. And it's amazing. And have you seen also too, like an uptick in people snowmobiling now?
We there's different things that drive it. 2020 definitely drove an uptick. It was a safe sport to do. It was outdoors. Last year was a great winter. We saw a big increase in memberships. It's really weather dependent.
Yeah. Excellent. And so Gary, remind people if they want to look at actually like at the trail reports and stuff, is there a website or a group they can check out?
Yep. So there's lots of things. First you want to start by going to vtvast.org and go to the map section or download the app for your phone. And all the clubs are responsible for marking their trails. Green is in great condition. Yellow is open, but ride with caution. And red means we're still closed. And each club does that for their area. And then most clubs have a Facebook page, which has a lot of trail reports and updates, and where riders will give input on their current ride and tell you about their experiences, good and bad.
Excellent. All right, thank you. We've been talking to Gary Lamberton, who is the trail master for the Buckaroos. Thank you so much, Gary.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate the time.
All right, and we're happy to have with us Dan Ingerson, who is part of the Connecticut Valley Snowmobile Club, who's going to be talking to us about the New Hampshire side of things on the trail report. Dan, how you doing?
Pretty good.
And I caught you in the middle of, you're out trying to repair a groomer, is that correct?
Yeah, we're on our way out to Club Trail 6 to pick up the Bombardier, which stopped on me yesterday afternoon.
Oh, jeez. And so how are the trails looking right now?
Well, we needed the snow that came the other day. Trails are setting up great. People are out riding and ripping them up, making it harder for us to keep the base compacted.
Do you have any miles that are all the trails open now, or do you have some that are still not open yet?
So Connecticut Valley trails are all open, and it starts from Bath, New Hampshire at the covered bridge, and we go all the way to Glencliff. That's quarter 5. And then our secondary trails is 108. It starts from Aldridge's, and it loops all the way up to the power line out by Briar Hill. And from there, you can zip down, still on 108, down to quarter 5, which is next to the Jehovah Church in Bath, New Hampshire. Our other trail is 42, out behind Blackmount or United Ag, and it snakes over to 108.
Okay. Yeah. Any cautions that riders should be aware of?
It's still spring season riding. Watch out for ice is the major thing. And stumps and rocks.
Right. And
stay on the trail.
What do you have for thickness now on the trail? How much snow do we have? Snowpack do you have now?
Snowpack is 3 inches.
Okay.
If that.
So still be careful. Good. And remind people too, Dan, you guys are having you have something coming up next month as well, correct?
We do. We have 2 events next month. February 15th, 9 o'clock is our registration. It's our annual poker run, radar run. We're trying to get a New Hampshire permit so everybody can ride on our loop trail that we have open. The permit covers all non-registered machines in-state and out-of-state. So if everybody in Vermont wants to come over and try our little loop we have, that works there. Our radar run is 500 feet, and top prize for the fastest run is $100.
Oh wow! Okay.
So we try to promote that, and then our second event, which is February 21st, is our second annual Clunker Sled Classic, which is a cross-country style vintage race, and it's going to be held at Bear Ridge Speedway. We take a quarter-mile dirt track, and we put 0.4 of a mile track on top of that. And that starts, gates open at 7, green flag at 10:30 till when we get done.
Okay.
We also have a food truck coming. His name is Good Times LLC, Jake Carter. If anybody knows him, he's going to be at the track doing the food this year.
Oh, fun! All right, it sounds delicious. And I remember you were on the radio last year, kind of talking about the Clunker Sled Classic too, and it turned out to end up having a lot of good snow.
We did up there. The track has a nice high elevation that it holds the snow. I haven't been up there this year, but I bet there's some snow up there.
Okay, good, excellent. And let's chat it. Let's check in again in a couple of weeks to see what the snowmobiles are looking like and what the trails look like over at the Connecticut Valley Snowmobile Club.
Yep, sounds good.
Perfect. All right, then so we're talking to Dan Ingerson, who is a part of the Connecticut Valley Snowmobile Club, just letting us know what the trails are looking like over in the New Hampshire side. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you.
And that was a conversation that I had earlier today with Dan Ingerson from the Connecticut Valley Snowmobile Club. And before that, we were talking to Gary Lamberton of the Vermont Buckaroos and talking about the snowmobile, how the trails looked for the Vermont side. And I had a conversation with Gary Lamberton yesterday. So next we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we are going to want you to stick around for the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge forecast from our very own Mark Breen of the Fairbanks Museum. So stay tuned for that, and it's coming up right after these important messages.
It's the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge on YKR Country.
Winter in Vermont is a great time to get outside and explore. It offers experiences for a wide range of abilities and interests. The Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department provides opportunities to take advantage of what the season offers. Visit vtfishandwildlife.com to plan your next winter adventure. You can sign up for a free ice fishing clinic, watch how-to videos, or find a wildlife management area near you for a quiet snowshoe stroll. Vermont Fish and Wildlife is here to help you get outside and experience the outdoors this winter.
I'm Mark Breen. Welcome to the Outdoor Edge forecast. It's been a wintry, sometimes icy few weeks with plenty of midwinter cold, though I admit the long-range forecasting so far this winter has left a lot to be desired. One common theme, though, the weather doesn't seem to want to settle into a pattern very long. Plenty of ups and downs, and since that's what's happened so far, I don't see any reason to expect it to change. This means the snow cover will remain somewhat thin in the valleys through the next week or so, and a bit more substantial over the higher terrain. Also, after some thawing tomorrow into Saturday, temperatures cool down, though not all that cold for the middle of January. What is showing up is the potential for a cold end to January, lasting into early February. Right now, it's just a possibility, but one we'll be watching and updating as we go through the next few weeks. No strong signals for snow either way, although the back-and-forth situation can sometimes kick up a good storm at some point. In the short term, winter conditions are going to take a hit as the well-advertised January thaw cranks up some south winds tomorrow, pushing temperatures into the upper 30s and low 40s, while rain showers arrive in the afternoon. It's been shown that with temperatures below 40, the snow tends to refrigerate itself to some extent, which will limit some of the snow loss. However, breezy south winds counteract that, so the snow will shrink. A cold front sweeps through tomorrow night, ending the showers and cooling temperatures off a little. Nothing cold, but the melting should end, and it remains unsettled on Saturday, mostly just cloudy, a light north wind, temperatures edging back up just a few degrees in the 30s. That's when things get complicated. As another storm approaches Saturday night, we expect the first storm to head toward Lake Ontario, which would suggest some rain. However, a new storm is forecast to develop south of New England Saturday night, which would keep colder air in place. Given those ideas, the current forecast is calling for mostly snow out of this situation Saturday night into Sunday, though some rain could mix in at times, tending to taper off Sunday afternoon. Colder air follows Sunday night with a slight potential for a burst of snow as the colder air arrives. Otherwise, look for some snow showers lingering, especially over the higher elevations. Now let's get back to the forecast through the weekend. Tonight, mainly clear this evening, then clouds arriving after midnight. Some patchy fog or freezing fog, lows in the 20s. Friday, clouds will thicken up. Rain showers developing midday and afternoon. It'll become breezy with highs right around 40. Friday night, mostly cloudy. The rain showers will taper off, lows settling down close to 32, and the winds will shift into the northwest but become lighter. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a quiet day, temperatures in the 30s, a light north and northwest wind. Saturday night, a chance of rain or snow becoming snow overnight. Some light accumulations with lows 25 to 30. And then Sunday, occasional snow or snow showers decreasing through the afternoon. Some additional light accumulations are possible. Highs on Sunday near 32, steady or falling in the afternoon. That's your Outdoor Edge forecast. I'm Fairbanks Museum meteorologist Mark Breen. Good luck and enjoy our great outdoors.
Thank you very much, Mark. And that wraps up another episode of the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Outdoor Edge. A big thanks to Gary Moore and our special guest, Kelly Ault from the Vermont Outdoor Business Alliance for a thoughtful and timely conversation. Also to Gary Lamberton and Dan Ingerson for their snowmobile trail updates. And once again, also to Mark Breen for the Fairbanks Museum for their Outdoor Edge forecast. And remember, this entire show is proudly supported by the St. Johnsbury Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams. And remember, you can catch the full episode on demand starting tomorrow at WYKR.com or on our WYKR app or wherever you find your podcasts. So I'm Joshua Smith, and I'll see you here next time on WYKR.